What is up, everybody? Eric here from Soundcast Studios. Today we're taking a look at Analog Obsession's Varimoon plugin and comparing it to the Wave's Puigchild, since they are both emulating the Fairchild compressor. Full disclosure, I am in no way affiliated with either of these companies and any opinion is my own. Comparing these two plugins turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought because these two plugins aren't actually as one-to-one as other emulations that I've tested. The Varimoon compressor actually has a fixed attack time of 10 milliseconds regardless of this release position. This is not how the Waves version works. The time constant on that plugin actually changes both the attack and release times. The Varimoon also has a ratio control that isn't even present on the Waves version. For the purpose of this video, I left this at a ratio of 2:1. Now let me quickly go over how I set up the sound test. I actually set up the test in two different ways since there are kind of two different ways to get the compressor to start compressing. First, I use a sine wave generator to give me a 1 kHz sine wave at -8 decibels. I ran it through the compressor, turned up the threshold until I was getting 8 decibels of compression. This would go down to -16, and then I turned up the output to get to -8 again. And so I did this for both compressors. I would turn up the threshold, get compression, and then turn up the output gain. So they are compressing the same amount and the output gain is the same. The other way I did it is by actually turning up the input gain. So this right here, you can see it's the drive version, where I turned up the input gain to get more of that saturation. And so as you turn up the input gain, you get more saturation and you need less of the threshold to actually get some gain reduction. And so again, -8 turned up the input gain to get -16, so 8 decibels of gain reduction, and then turned back up the output gain to get to -8. I made sure to do that because I do feel like both of these compressors have a lot of color to them, and so I wanted to make sure that that color came through in the video. Now let's get to the sound samples. First, I'll play a track with no compression, then with either the Waves version or the Varimoon. Then I'll do it again with the increased drive settings. Then I'll do it on drums and show the different time constraints, since I feel like it's easiest to hear attack and release times with things that are percussive like drums. Lastly, I'll do a Null test to more easily show the sound differences between these two plugins.
She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dries the water reach her. She always makes me wanna cry. Oh, oh, dry as a water reacher.
Overall, I think that both these plugins sound good and are significantly enough different that you'd actually pick one over the other in certain situations. So to me and my ears, the Varimoon has this saturation which reduces a lot of that high end. In the Null test, you were able to hear that extra high end, which is what the Varimoon is actually getting rid of. So if you go back and listen, you can hear that the Varimoon does tend to sound a little darker, which isn't a good thing or a bad thing. It's just how it sounds. The Waves version to me sounds cleaner, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you want. I also feel that the release time on the Waves versions are faster. So with the drums in particular, I did feel like the faster release gave the drums a little bit more life. I felt like the Varimoon was a little bit restricting. It was sucking a little too much life out of the drums for my taste. But luckily, there's a dry and wet mix knob, so you can dial that back in and get some more of that natural drum sound, which is really cool. I do think that the additional features that the Varimoon has, such as the dry and mix knob, the high pass filtering, the ratio controls, it allows you to maybe get a better sound out of this plugin than the Waves version just because you have all these extra parameters to mess around with. I didn't mess around with any of those during this video because I kind of want to just test how they sound at their core. I do think that they both sound good. I wouldn't necessarily be able to declare a winner in this test because I like them both. For the drums, I definitely like the Waves version significantly more. But for things like vocals, I kind of liked how the Varimoon tamed some of that high end and added a little bit of that extra saturation. So like I said, they're different enough that they are both good. So that is going to be the end of this video. In the comment section below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you thought I could have done better. And I'll see you all in the next video.